Hello there, Brick Fanatics. Have a look at this adorable baby. Look at this. 250 pieces, an absolutely beautiful little recreation of the classic Lego Space Person's classic Lego baby, and it is a gift with purchase. Aww. Far be it from me to claim to have any kind of business insight above and beyond the top minds working at the LEGO Group, but I do really feel like the company has perhaps underestimated this gift with purchase set. A gift with purchase set, by the way, is something that the LEGO Group will give you for free if you meet a certain criteria in buying things from their store, either buying a big new fancy LEGO set that's just released, or buying a certain amount of LEGO to meet a minimum spend threshold, and then they'll just kind of chuck this into the basket along with everything else. It's a fun idea, it just adds a little extra as an incentive in the LEGO buying experience. The only real problem is when you get a LEGO set like this Baby Astronaut, which is going to be so phenomenally in demand, and yet unavailable for a lot of people unless they spend an awful lot of money. The specific criteria for getting this gift with purchase are not public knowledge at the time of making this video, but we do know that generally speaking, these gift with purchases don't come cheap. You've either got to buy a big new LEGO set that has just launched, or you've got to spend a certain amount, normally well over £100 on LEGO, in order to get these things when they are released. What's more, they only tend to go out for a very short period of time, and if you miss your chance, sometimes there'll be another opportunity down the line where the LEGO Group has extra stock of these gift with purchases, and sometimes they're just kind of gone forever. Sometimes these gift with purchases will be part of a little collection or a little series. You'll get, for example, the houses of the world. At the moment, recently, we've had a little rainforest and a little coral reef that go quite nicely together. The problem is not necessarily in having a little collection of these. The problem with the baby, though, is that it is part of another collection, something that is growing in popularity at the moment, and something which is already kind of difficult to get a full set of. These large-scale brick-built minifigures have been around for a few years. Someone pointed out in a previous video that we've got, for example, an Ant-Man from a little while ago, and then there were the Harry and Hermione ones as part of the Harry Potter theme, and then we got the, I believe it was the Captain Redbeard exclusive first, and then the more generic Lego figure, and then finally this year we've got the race car driver. And so they're kind of scattered. There's not really much cohesion to this collection, if you even call it a collection, but we've just had a bunch of these different sets over time, and with the coming of the race car driver, a lot of people have been like, I see what you're doing here. Now I can have a line of these on the shelf. That means I've got to get all of them. And that is already quite difficult because if you want those licensed ones, they retired quite a while ago. If you want that Captain Redbeard, which arguably is the coolest one of the lot, especially for nostalgic Lego Pirate fans like myself, that one is particularly difficult to get hold of because it is exclusive to the Lego House store in Billund in Denmark. So unless you've gone there, you've probably not been able to buy one yourself. They go for quite a lot of money on the aftermarket. I have heard of somebody financing a trip to Billund simply by buying a bunch of these and then taking them home to America and selling them on eBay or on Bricklink or what have you. So you've got a collection here which I think is already appealing to a lot of Lego fans, but already very difficult to build a full collection of, and then you've got another quite difficult to add to your collection set, because no matter what this baby ends up costing in terms of the spending requirements in order to get it, whether that's an amount of money or whether that's a specific Lego set, it's still going to be very expensive if all you really want is that baby, and then you're effectively getting a very expensive baby and then a free other thing which is much bigger. Now, we've not had a brick-built astronaut at this scale yet, and I feel like that's something that would be nice to have. I imagine someone at the Lego Group has thought of that already, and looking at the design of this baby, I'm thinking that maybe you could just take that printed tile. This is all printed tiles, by the way, no stickers on display as far as we can tell. If you took that printed tile with the classic space logo and popped it into a bigger minifigure, then you would get a second use of that printed tile. It would just kind of make sense to do that. That's just speculation. I'm just saying that that's another large-scale brick-built minifigure that a lot of people would like, especially because these Lego astronauts in all their various colours are something that people are already collecting. Getting a new Lego space person in whatever colour it might be is always something that is exciting to the contingency of Lego fans that like to collect these. We know that one is coming this year with the prize machine that spits out minifigures from LEGO Ideas, which is going to be a pretty cool set, I'd wager. There's been a fan vote on which new colour of astronaut to add to that set, which is quite a fun way of doing it because it does mean that the LEGO fans get an opportunity to actually have a say in what new colour they get for their collection. And it's just fun to have a new color in general. Typically, these new colors will turn up in all kinds of places. You'll get one in, for example, a collectible minifigure series, or in some cases, there was, I think, the green one or the purple one, possibly both of them, where the best way to get it, at least initially, was scattered across various sets. Like you had to buy this set, and then you had to buy that set for the helmet, and that set for the jetpack, which does end up being quite an expensive way of doing this. So already LEGO Astronaut fans have been finding this to be quite an expensive pursuit. Nevertheless, I feel like the fact that the LEGO Group slips in the pieces that a fan might need to complete their LEGO Astronaut minifigure does suggest that they are at least trying to help with that collection, even if it can end up feeling very obtuse if you're buying a Lunar New Year set over here, or a Monkey Kids set over there, or something completely different in order to build them. So in the Venn diagram of difficult to complete LEGO collections, you've got the Space Person minifigure in various different colours, you've got the large brick-built minifigure, and in the overlap between these two circles, you've got the Space Baby. The initial Space Baby debuted with a collectible minifigure series. We've had it in a couple of different colours now, and it has proven a very big hit because it is a continuation of that classic space minifigure, but in an adorable tiny little package. And that's why this gift with purchase is going to appeal to so many people, and why a lot of people are going to be disappointed that they can't just pay for it and own it. There is a recommended retail price for all of these gift with purchase sets. For the Space Baby, it's £16.99 in the UK, $19.99 in the US, and €19.99 in parts of the European Union. For the most part, though, these recommended retail prices are only for show because, as said, the only way to actually get these from the LEGO Group is to pay a lot of money for something completely different. That's the official line. There are, though, other ways of getting hold of these. We covered this in a video last week, but sometimes if you are very lucky, you can go to, for example, a Legoland or a Legoland Discovery store, and you can find gift with purchases for sale. That's a bit of a gamble. I have had success with that in the past, happening to pick up a gift with purchase for £20 and just being very happy to spend £20 on it rather than having to spend hundreds of pounds to get it otherwise. Alternatively, you don't necessarily need to buy from the LEGO Group. You could buy, for example, from eBay or from Bricklink or from our very own Brick Deals website. I happen to have brought along a bit of a visual aid for this, so if you have seen the video from last week where I went to 2 different LEGO stores looking for various cool things, you will know that I didn't on that day pick up the gift with purchase Camino training facility set, no matter how much I love it. And the reason for that is that I decided that there wasn't really anything that I desperately needed from the LEGO Star Wars theme at that particular moment, and I would rather just have the gift with purchase. So, open this up, and in here we've got, yes, the Millennium Falcon polybag, and the Camino Training Facility gift with purchase. So, this one has a recommended retail price on the LEGO website of £26.99, and this one has, I believe, a recommended retail price of £4.99. Now, for this plus postage, I paid £35.45. The box came with the postage sticker on it that said that cost £3.45, so I know that I paid exactly the retail price for these 2 sets plus the postage. And this is a deal that has benefited everybody because I got these. The person who sold them got just a little bit, once you take off the eBay fees, like a little bit less than £30 off of their purchase of LEGO Star Wars stuff, and the LEGO Group wins because they sold £145 worth of LEGO that they probably wouldn't have sold otherwise. So I definitely feel like if there is a particular gift with purchase set that you are desperate for but you don't necessarily want to spend what you have to spend in order to get it, it is well worth checking out these slightly less official channels to find them. The frustration with something like the Baby Astronaut, though, is that it could very easily have just been a widespread retail release. It could have been something in all LEGO stores across the world, and a lot more people would have purchased it. Instead, a lot of LEGO fans are going to end up being disappointed because they didn't think of getting it in a particular window. I suspect, and this is just a guess, but I suspect that what happened here is that the LEGO design team had a task to build a gift with purchase, and they had a really good idea, and they built it and they created it, and it's a fantastic looking little model, but it was still trapped in that gift with purchase ecosystem where really this is the kind of thing that would do very well at retail instead. And this isn't a huge problem or anything, not really. I mean, if the problem is that this Lego set is just too wonderful, well, that's not really a problem at all. It's great that this thing is coming out. Nevertheless, I do just find myself wondering if there's a better way to approach these gift with purchases, one that feels a little bit more consumer friendly. I think an ideal situation would be as if you could just buy these things from the Lego group directly if you don't want to necessarily spend all the money that it requires to get it for free. So they have a stack of Baby Astronauts on the counter in the Lego store. If you spend £16.99, you can just have it, or if you spend 100 and whatever pounds, then they will throw it in for free. That would be very nice. That would just solve a lot of problems and open these things up to a lot more fans who would like to get hold of them. I can imagine from the Lego group's perspective, though, for a lot of these gift with purchases, they would rather sell you 100 and something pounds worth of Lego and then give it to you for free, rather than sell it once to you for just the £16.99. Like, maybe it's worth pushing a few people to hit a spend threshold that they weren't necessarily going to reach otherwise, rather than just selling it en masse to everybody who wants to buy it outright. Nevertheless, this little baby astronaut is adorable, and I feel like this particular gift with purchase is going to be particularly popular among Lego fans. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments down below, and make sure you do all of the rest of the YouTube things. Give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you're going to be making a big Lego.com purchase in the near future in order to get the Space Baby, make sure that you use the affiliate link which is down in the description, or the QR code that is currently on screen. They take you straight to the Lego website. We get a percentage of the sale when you purchase through those links. Doesn't cost you a penny extra, helps to keep the lights on at Brick Fanatics. Make sure that you do go to brickfanatics.com for coverage of all things Lego, including our review of the little baby astronaut gift with purchase, and make sure that you sign up to our newsletter so that you never miss anything Lego related ever again. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.